Welcome, Commanders, to Starfleet Academy for Star Trek Fleet Command. I am your instructor, Captain Pike, and today we'll be doing an analysis of the Titan-A. The Titan-A was introduced into Star Trek Fleet Command in April 2023 as part of the arc Legacy Part 2. It has a free-to-play sourcing path available to commanders who meet the minimum requirements on day one of release. We will explain later in this video how to obtain the Titan-A free-to-play. It is a Epic G4 Neo-Constitutional class explorer. The USS Titan-A is classified as a neutral ship in the game, meaning it has no faction affinity and therefore it is not going to benefit from faction-based reputation modifiers. This specialty ship is designed to be a support ship, like the Cerritos, but with a little bit of a twist. And like the Cerritos, the Titan brings a few more features to the game than just the ship itself. With the addition of the Titan to the game, we receive an expansion on the ship research tree. It also expanded the support section of the refinery with 3 new resource conversions, and we received 2 more daily goals. We will cover all of these items in this video, along with thoughts on how we can optimize each of these areas to progress our Titan and research, increasing its usefulness to ourselves as well as our alliance. To build the Titan-A, it takes 100 blueprints to unlock it, and is obtainable free to play when players build Shipyard 37 and obtain all of these blueprints. It will cost you 3,160 3-star common refined gas, 750 3-star common refined ore, 42.6 million tritanium, and 2.36 million dilithium. Build time is 34 days and 12 hours before research and other reduction benefits in game. Again, it is a G4 Epic Neo-Constitutional ship of the Explorer classification. The Titan's ship ability is under Titan's Aegis. 2 Alliance ships will be affected when Fortification or Maximum Fortification is activated. This prioritizes the strongest ship and Alliance members without the ability. The number of supported ships scale based on the ship's tier. Tier 1, it starts at 2, going up to 13 at Tier 12. It has 7 components that require upgrades at each tier. There are 3 offensive components on the Titan. These components are 1 Phaser Beam Emitter. This is an energy weapon with a 1-round charge and recharge, and it fires a single shot every round. It has a base critical chance of 10% with a critical damage of 150%. This is the weakest of the Titan's weapons. Phaser cannons. There's 1 of these, and it is an energy weapon with a 1-round recharge and charge time. It fires every round at 2 shots. It has a base critical chance of 10% with a critical damage at 150%. This will be the highest damage output weapon, and would be the first weapon I recommend upgrading each tier. There is 1 Quantum Torpedo. This is a kinetic weapon. It has a 3-round warm-up and cooldown, but when it fires, it takes 2 shots. It has a base critical chance of 10% with a critical damage at 150%. The firing pattern you're looking at now was provided by STFC.space. There are 3 defensive components on the Titan-A consisting of titanium armor. This increases the hull health and armor and generates the lowest increase in strength for the ship. Impulse engines. The impulse engines in the Titan are the second strongest component to upgrade each tier. Shields. This is where you will see the largest increase to the strength of your Titan when it comes to the defensive components. This is normally where explorers have the most gains, so it's not a surprise to see this is the primary defensive component on the Titan. Under the other or utility components, we have the warp engines. Interesting, there is no cargo bay. This is welcome to have one less component to upgrade on the Titan for progression. It will be interesting to see how the cargo capacity scales. Not that we will be using it really, but you never know. Its max below the deck officer capacity is 7 crew and has a maximum bonus of 500%. You can upgrade the TitanA to tier 12. Upgrading this ship requires G3 Explorer parts, gas, and crystal up to tier 3 components. At tier 3 to tier 4, the components will consume G4 Explorer parts, gas, and crystal. This goes up to G5 resources at T9 and up. The Titan does not require any operations lock specialty parts to upgrade specific components, like the Vidar Talios, Devorers, and others, but it does require its own parts for every component, much like the Franklin and Franklin-A. So the Titan is not operations or level locked other than the resources required to build it. I like how there is no gating on the upgrades of the Titan outside of your ability to acquire G4 and G5 resources. The Titan-A is a support ship, and its sole purpose is to support you and your alliance in activities. It is the first ship to provide 2 active abilities in the game, and to have an area of effect ability. Since this is a support ship, it doesn't pack much punch, aligning with the Titan you may have seen in the show Picard. No spoilers here, I promise. The one thing to note, and it will be interesting to see how commanders leverage the Titan since it has an impressive impulse speed. I think Scopely did a great job on the model for this ship. It looks amazing from all viewpoints, and as you can see here in the launch animation for the Titan-A, even how the ship lights up is cool when it powers up in the shipyard. The Titan-A's 2 abilities are Fortification. Fortification requires activation and applies a fortified state to all of your ships in the same system as the USS Titan-A, plus to some of your alliance ships as well. This state has a cost. It costs radioactive titanite. There is also a duration and a cooldown. While in a fortified state, the ship will gain 25% critical damage. Plus, the state activates some of the Titan's research buffs based on what the receiving player has unlocked. The other ability is Max Fortification. Max Fortification has its own activation and applies a max fortified state to all of your ships in the same system as the USS Titan-A, plus again to some alliance ships. While on a max fortified state, the ship will gain 25% critical damage, plus 250% damage, and the state activates all of the Titan research buffs based on what the receiving player has unlocked. The state has a cost. It's radioactive titanite. It also has a duration and a cooldown. This is unlocked by acquiring the Max Fortification refit. Shards are available from the TitanA Refinery in the support tag after the ship has upgraded to tier 3. Fortified and Max Fortified have application rules. The fortification is applied to all ships which belong to the activating commander in the system. Fortification is applied to some Alliance member ships. The number of Alliance member ships that will receive fortification is determined by the tier of the USS Titan-A that activated the fortification. Alliance member ships are selected based on attack stats. The higher the attack will be selected first. If A Alliance ship is already in one of the 2 fortification states. In this cooldown, the Alliance member's ship is skipped. If one of the activating commander's own ships already has one of the fortification states, the duration will be refreshed. Activating the fortified or max fortified state is very easy. With the Titan, all you need to do is select your Titan while it is in the system you want to support, and then click on one of the 2 support buttons of the ship pop-up. Top button is your fortified, and the lower is your max fortified. Fortified costs 3,000 radioactive Titanite, and max fortified costs 12,000 radioactive Titanite. You earn radioactive Titanite from the gift section of the game under ship resources. As you can see by the top of the gifts tile, it is going to scale with your Titan's level. At T1, it starts at 4K radioactive Titanite, scaling up to 6,750 at Tier 12. This is an incremental increase of 250 radioactive Titanite per tier. Fortification is very dependent on the research of the commander receiving the condition from you. So let's take a look at the research. We will find the new research in our research trees under the Starship Research section. To get there, click on your station exterior, then click on the interior button and select your R&D department. Click on the research button in the bottom middle to open the research tree. Here you will see the Starship Research Trees group. Select that group and let's scroll all the way to the right until you see Odds Beater, Higher Decking, and Deck Support on column 26. Here is the start of the new research. The first column being additional Cerato's research, followed by the Titan research. Let's check it out and see what research stands out the most. The Cerato's research we just mentioned looks good, but be mindful of it though, as it uses the same baridium isotopes as your Titan's research. You do not want to starve your Titan research if you have the Titan, but this looks like good research that will improve the Cerato's. But enough about the Cerato's. Let's talk about the Titan. That's what we're here for. The first research that stands out to me is Titan Record. This one is interesting, and there's another one that's very similar in how this one works. This increases critical hit damage while simultaneously supported by the Cerato's and being fortified. Scopely is definitely trying to keep our Ceratoses relevant with the introduction of the TitanA. The Titan Repeater is our first anti-mantis research in this list. It increases the number of shots per weapon while affected by venomous puncture and being fortified. Another research is Titan Wings. This combos Titan Mantis research, eliminating weapons fire delay for 1 round while affected by venomous puncture and max fortified. And one I definitely will be investing in first will be Horizon Velocity. This extends the range of our TitanA warp each tier up to an impressive 325 range at max research. This research is locked to your R&D department, opening up at level 40, and will be R&D department locked at higher tiers as well. Now we know what research is available, and we may have an idea of what research we like the most. So, how are we going to use the Titan itself? The TitanA is a support ship, so of course we're going to use it for support. What kind of support activities is the Titan really going to help us out with? The Titan is going to be amazingly helpful with group support activities. Some of these activities are going to be territory control, With the ability to support multiple ships at once, this is going to be very nice, and a handful of Titans will be able to provide support for the whole alliance. Armadas. All of your armadas. Regular faction, Cardassian, Dominion, and Borg will also find benefit in hostile grinding, either when you're using several of your ships or you and a few of your alliance members are out grinding hostiles together. Here's another way to get some use out of your Titan outside of the designated use of being a support ship. We can run missions, especially missions that are event missions and lower than your ops level. Toss an impulse or impulse warp crew on your Titan to do those missions faster if you don't have a faster ship. So, let's talk about the crew we're going to use on the Titan-A. As I discuss crewing the Titan, I will stick with the activities we just mentioned. There are two scenarios we need to consider in the support activities: non-defensive and defensive. What do I mean by this? For defensive, I mean if you are in a TC or war and your Titan is going to be targeted as it supports your alliance. You'll want to have a little kick and do a little bit of damage if you do get attacked. And non-defensive is when you're using your Titan in a non-hostile engagement. In a defensive scenario, I like to run the TOS crew on my Ceratops, and will do the same on my Titan. This might not be enough to keep it alive, but it may be enough to do some damage on its attacker. We'll put TOS Spock in the captain's seat. His captain ability is Live Long. When defending at the start of each turn, TOS Spock restores shield health to the amount equal to 100% of the defense of the officers on the ship. This restores the shield health of all your ships if the ship is defending in the station. His officer ability is Prosper. When fighting other players, as long as the ship has morale, TOS Spock decreases the critical hit damage bonus of the opponent's ship by 50%. This will go up to 150% at Commander. In an officer seat, we'll put TOS Kirk. His officer ability is It's All We Have to Go On. At the start of each round, if the ship's health is above 30% of its starting value, TOS James T. Kirk has a 75% chance to inspire morale to the ship for this round. This goes up to 95% at Commander. This is going to provide full synergy to Spock at 50% and will engage the morale condition for Spock's officer ability. With this crew setup, we'll want to make sure that we stack defense heavy crew below the deck, or stack defense BTD, like I like to say. To complement these two, we're going to put TOS Uhura. Her officer ability is Modulation Frequency Found. When fighting players, as long as the ship has morale, TOS Nyota Uhura removes 8% from the shield mitigation of the opponent's ship. Shield mitigation determines the amount of damage dealt to the shield health. In non-defensive scenarios, I will normally equip any warp range extending officers. We happen to have one in the TOS crew group, and we'll set him up as our captain if you have him. The reason we put TOS Montgomery Scott in the captain's seat is because his captain maneuver is a garbage scout. TOS Scotty increases the warp range of explorers by 4. With synergy, this will increase by 2 for any engineering TOS crew, or by 3 for each command or science TOS crew. Here's a list of your crew that will boost warp range for your Titan. As we just mentioned, TOS Scotty, and to complement him, Any synergizing crew will increase by 2 to 3 warp ranges. Cadet Scotty. His ability is Warp Theory. Cadet Scotty increases warp distance of the ship by 1 and up to 5 at Commander. Grush. Fight or Flight. Grush increases the warp range of the ship by 6%, up to 15% at Commander. As a mission runner here are crews you can leverage to make your Titan even faster. Hugh. His officer ability is Fleeted Collective. Hugh increases the impulse speed of your ship by 5%. Commander, this will go up to 15%. Claw. This is his captain's ability, so he'll need to be in the captain's seat. It is called Hot Pursuit. Claw increases the impulse speed of the ship by 25%. Curon. His officer ability is Merciless Pursuit. After destroying a ship, Curon increases the impulse speed by 25% until his ship's next battle or its return to the station. Burnham, also a captain ability, Steadfast. Michael Burnham increases the impulse speed of the ship by 15%. Pan and his captain ability, Getting Up to Speed. Pan increases the impulse speed of the ship by 20%. Strange New World Una. Her officer ability, Engine Redlining. Strange New World Una increases impulse speed by 15, going up to an impressive 50 at Commander. TOS Chekhov. He has a captain's ability, Young Genius. TOS Chekhov increases the impulse speed of explorers by 10. All of these have potential. My default speed crew for missions are Pan, a Synergy Officer, and Curon. The reason I run these 3 is because I get the best speed out of them right now. I can pop a hostile, which is usually a requirement in missions, and we are off to the races. So, what other changes did the Titan-A bring to the game we should know about? The support refinery has 3 new items in it that are here to support your Titan-A and to help with commanders in the Command and Control Center. All 3 of these items will scale with your Titan-A's tier. The first item is Fleet Commander Skill Point. This will convert the crystalline beryllium you get daily from using the Titan into Commander Skill Points. There are 3 chest options in this tile. You can get 1 chest for 1000 beryllium, or 2 chests for 2000 beryllium, and for a premium of 5000 beryllium, you can get 3 chests. The next tile is beryllium to USS Titan-A parts. This converts the beryllium to parts. You can get 1 chest at 1000 beryllium and 2 chests at a premium cost of 3000. And the final chest is beryllium to veridium isotopes. Veridium is used for your research. You can get 1 chest at 1000 beryllium and 2 chests at a premium cost of 3000. The suggested refinement pattern for optimal cost to parts currency should be as follows. For daily, your Fleet Commander SP, you want to pull the 2 chests. The USS Titan parts, you want to pull 1 chest. And the Veridium isotopes, you will pull 1 chest. This will ensure that you're getting all 3 items daily at the best value. So, how do we get the resources to spend on these new refinery bundles? They come in the new dailies you will get when you build the Titan-A. There are 2 new daily goals that will help you to source beryllium and the crystalline beryllium to use on your new refinery bundles. Fortification. Use either of the Titan's ship abilities to fortify other ships. This only requires you to fortify what the Titan wants, and its cost is 3,000 radioactive Titanite, and is one use of the Titan's ability. The daily will give you 2,000 beryllium and 1,500 crystalline beryllium. Max Fortification. Use either of the Titan ship abilities to fortify other ships. This costs 12,000 radioactive Titanite. 4 uses of Fortification ability or 1 use of the Max Fortification ability will finish this daily. This rewards an additional 3,500 crystalline beryllium. Based on the distribution of radioactive Titanite at Tier 1, you should be able to max fortify or do 4 fortifications every 10 days if you do only 1 fortification every day for your dailies. To take advantage of all this that we have discussed, you still need to obtain the TitanA. So how are you going to do that? The Titan was released into the game with a free-to-play path to earn it. You can find the blueprints in your Xborg faction store. Each blueprint will cost you 120 Xborg credits. Total cost will be 12,000 Xborg credits. Remember, your level 37 shipyard will need to be built before you can build the TitanA. Once you have this available to purchase the blueprints, it will take you about 100 days to unlock the TitanA. As it has a 22-hour cooldown window, if you are hardcore enough to hit the blueprints right at reset, you could potentially shave 8 days' time off your acquisition. I find the TitanA to be an interesting ship. With the TitanA, we get a 3rd support ship in the game, but this one definitely brings a different aspect to support, as it supports more ships as you tier it up. Out of the gates, it's not going to be better than your Cerritos or Defiant, especially if you've been working on the ships and research since their release. So it's going to take a bit of time for this ship to catch up with your other ships. But I think you will find yourself using the TitanA more than the Cerritos and Defiant, especially in activities that involve more than one ship, such as solo armadas, Borg solo armadas, group armadas, and some grind activities where you may use more than one ship. Remember, the Fortification and Max Fortification will stack with your Cerritos and Defiant support. The Defiant is going to get used more to support your solo armadas, and the Cerritos is going to probably be your go-to for solo grinds like Swarm and the Cerritos event. There are a few benefits that I think stand out for the TitanA. It can support multiple ships on a single use or activation of its ability. It has some very good researches that stand out as well. There are alternative uses, although we might be stretching a little bit there. It's available free to play. And the Fortification has benefits day 1 and doesn't require you to have additional research. Few drawbacks for the Titan are it's going to be almost 100 days free to play just to get it. That's after you get to Ops 37 and build your shipyard. On average, it's going to take about a year to max it free to play as well. That's with no event help. And it takes tier 3 before you can unlock the Max Fortification. Check out our website for more videos. And join us in Discord using the link in the video description to continue the discussion and get access to more resources. We hope you found the video informative and helpful. If so, please give us a thumbs up and share. We look forward to your comments and suggestions. Live long and prosper, Commander. I'll see you at the Academy.